I'm sorry, but am I to believe that people actually like Limp Bizkit? So Y2K is the newest A24 film that I only watched because my buddy was interested and asked me to tag along with him, and I figured I'd give it a chance. A24 is very hit or miss, and so because I like Kyle Mooney from SNL, I was hoping that this would be at least entertaining or somewhat enjoyable, and yeah, this is a mess. I mean, okay, stoner comedy, just not my thing. I can't really relate to that because I've never done drugs in my life, believe it or not. And so I've never really found that funny, and acid trip sequences and just idiots who are stoned out of their minds on screen constantly. It gets stale after a while, and when you see so many other movies do it, it's just not that interesting. Especially when the one guy who played Argyle in Stranger Things is basically like a ripoff of Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. Like, nothing in this movie really feels all that original, especially in that regard, and it feels like it's just ripping off other things and using tropes from other stuff. And when it comes to horror comedies, I can basically count on one hand the amount of those I actually enjoy. If it's not Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, or Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse, I'm out. Now, I was born in the year 2000, and this kind of movie made me feel old for sure, because while I'm not a 90s baby technically, a lot of that still bled over into my childhood, so a lot of this stuff I was still familiar with. Not exactly in the era of when dial-up internet was a thing, and can't relate to the 90s rap element of it, but many other things in here: video rental stores, VHS tapes, mixed CDs and boomboxes and all that, box computers. Like, there's certain things in here that I certainly can relate to. It's just, I can't relate to all of it, and when they put such a heavy emphasis on this 90s rap element, didn't really jive with me all that much. But seriously, all this 90s nostalgia is just crammed down your throat. I feel like if they just blended it more naturally into the environment, it would have worked a lot better. But basically everything that people complain about with 80s nostalgia being forced into movies, that's what they do with the 90s in this one. Now, the main cast themselves weren't terrible. The main kid from It, Rachel Zegler, they do fine in their roles, and problem is they're kind of held back by the material that they're given. And the kid from Deadpool 2 is easily the most unlikable character, just based on how he's written, and also just based on how annoyingly persistent his character is with what they're doing in the movie. And once again, he's not given the best material either. Also, the comedy in this is just dead awful. It relies so much on vulgarity and perversion, has no cleverness to its wit, and it feels like a 12-year-old wrote it. Now, the whole Y2K conspiracy theory is an actually interesting idea for a plot, but the way they execute it is very stupid. Now, there's a lot of these sequences where the machines are taking over and killing people, but a lot of them are just kind of forming together into these mech suits, which are clearly just people in costumes, and it looks really cheap and really, really dumb. And they also just do not utilize this concept well enough either. I mean, they have this idea introduced at one point that not all the robots are bad and we could possibly interact with some and get them on our side. But for whatever reason, right when they introduce that idea, they immediately shoot it down because the one robot that may be good is immediately in the next 5 seconds turning evil on them, and so then they have to go against it. And I don't know why they even bothered introducing that then if they weren't going to pay it off in any way possible. And like I said before, they implement a lot of tropes into this movie, a lot of horror tropes, a lot of 90s tropes, a lot of tropes in general. And I feel like a lot of it was meant to be just kind of like meta satire, just to fit into the comedy aspects of the film. But at the same time, that doesn't change the fact that you're still using those tropes. At one point, Rachel Zegler's character literally says, "You know what the difference between you and me is? I make this look good." We're at that level of writing here. And if you're a slasher fan and you were looking for some new creative kills in this type of film, you're going to be heavily disappointed because most of them are either not shown or just look so cheap and cheesy that they're not fun whatsoever, not enough good carnage candy for you. But don't worry, because they make up for it by including a lot of Limp Bizkit references. Yeah, bottom line, this movie was a complete misfire. I should have gone and seen Werewolves instead because I was actually looking forward to that one. And now for a final score, I'm going to do to this movie what Limp Bizkit did to music in the 90s. 4. So Y2K, did you see it and like it? Did you see it and hate it? Are you on board with these A24 movies? Do you think that they're stupid, pretentious crap? Or are you like me and you cheer when they succeed and you boo when they suck? I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. Just be respectful about it, of course. No need to go at each other's throats over this. Just a movie, after all, not the most important thing in the world. And while you're down there, leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want more videos like this in your feed. Hit that notification bell to know when I'm posting new videos. And if you want to follow me on other platforms, I am on Instagram, Letterboxd, Serialized, and GG, where I post movie reviews, TV show reviews, and video game reviews. And not all those reviews make it onto this channel, so I highly suggest following me on those platforms if you want to stay up to date with more content that doesn't always get put into video format. And until next time, guys, God be with you, and take care.